everyone, and welcome back to another Lightroom tutorial. Today we're going to cover something that's seemingly simple, but there's a lot that can go on with it. So we're going to go over importing and all the things that you can do on the import of the photos. So here we are in Lightroom, and what I'm going to do is insert the memory card into my computer here. And you might have it actually just pop up in a little dialog box here, like I had here. I'm going to cancel this just so that we can go back through and do it another way though. So I can press this little button down here in the bottom left corner to say import, or I can go Shift Command I, and that will bring up this same import dialog box. Now here you're going to see all the photos that I just took, which is some really random ones that have been around my place. And in the bottom right here on the screen, we can go down to thumbnails and make them even larger so we can actually look at what we've done here. You can even sort them differently. I'm going to keep it at capture time. And all of them are checked right now, which would mean they are going to upload. If you didn't want to upload them all, you can uncheck them all. I'm going to check them back. Or you could go through individually and check them this way. I'm going to go back and press this little grid down here to switch it back here. And I'm going to click all of these. Now on the top left, we can actually see where they're coming from. So let's say you actually had one or more memory cards in there, or maybe your iPhone's plugged in and it may want to try to upload from your iPhone or something like that. This way you can actually go down and select, we do want this EOS digital, but you could even select photos from your own computer, from the desktop pictures or some other place, or even from another hard drive. That way you could even go here in files and look down through there. But right now we're importing from the EOS digital, and that's great. I also have this one checked as eject after import because I don't want to have to always remember that I have to eject it. I just want to be able to pull it out when it's done, so I'm going to keep that checked. Now up here, this is a little bit of a controversial thing. Some photographers like to copy them in as a DNG. I like to keep them as the files that they are. In this case, it does happen to be JPEG just because I was shooting these just for this tutorial. I'm usually shooting in RAW, but I like to keep them in RAW. Others like to copy as DNG. It could save, or it will save a lot of room, but it's totally up to you and probably something you can do some more research on. For me personally, I'm always going to keep them, and I'm going to say copy because I want them to be copied from the memory card and not moved, and so I'm going to keep it as copy up here. And let's move over here. Now this is where there's a lot of things that we can do, and we want to pay attention to this, and it will be kept as kind of a standard or the default. So let's go through it and make sure that we have everything correct. So here we've got build smart previews, and smart previews can be very convenient, and what they mean is, let's say that you have all of these photos on a hard drive. If you do, and then you leave the hard drive, you do not have the hard drive plugged into your computer, then this build smart previews, these smart previews would then allow you to edit the photos even if they aren't actually, even if you don't actually have the hard drive attached. So these smart previews are ones where it looks like the entire photo. You can still edit them looking like the entire photo, but you're going to need to wait to plug the hard drive back in order to export. This has been something I've been playing with. I used to not do any build smart previews. Now I have been. For me, it hasn't made a huge difference, but I think we're going to go ahead and check build smart previews and continue on there. Another one that's great is don't import suspected duplicates. Now, all of these photos are new, I know that, but I always keep this one checked because if I do already have the photos on my hard drive, I do not want copies of them, so that's great. Now this third one is make a second copy, and that's what I absolutely like to do. What I've got right now is I've got it plugged into two separate hard drives, so it's in two different places. So if one crashes, I always have a backup. You can click here and actually choose where you want it to be. For me, it's this in 2016 book, which is my 2016 backup. I've got it in my 2016 Lightroom catalog. That's all great. I'm going to say choose. You can switch it up and do it as you wish as well, but I would always recommend keeping at least two copies of these. You can also add all these photos immediate to a collection, which is not something I do often. So we're going to skip this option here, and we can cover collections in a different collection episode. What we can also do now is rename these files. So for this one, let's just go ahead and rename all these, and we can say that this is the DJPhotoVideo tutorial, and let's just say we want to rename that. You can rename it however you want. It's totally up to you. There's really a lot of different ways to do it. And we could even start this at 001. So we're not going to count it at 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do 001, 002. And the extension we're going to leave as is because we want to keep these as JPEGs. So underneath that, it is going to show you a sample of what the first one will be. And actually, look at this. It doesn't even show my zeros on there. So I guess that doesn't even play. So what we could do if we really cared about having triple digits on there, we could start it at 100. I'm going to just leave it as 1. That's fine for me. I usually go by the date these photos were taken anyways, so it really doesn't matter to me. Apply during import. You can also change the develop settings, the metadata. I don't like to do any of this, so I'm going to skip that. We're going to go down to keywords. Now the keywords can be really helpful because if you're uploading all these videos or all these photos from Chicago, or if I'm doing all these from a Hoops basketball game, I'm going to keyword those with Hoops. For this round, let's go ahead and just keyword this with DJPhotoVideo. I'll put a comma, and let's call them macro, because I took all of these with a macro lens. And I'm just going to hit enter, and now when these are imported, it's going to all have that keyword on there. Next is our destination. And under the destination, it says to organize by date, which is exactly like how I want to do it. And then the date format, which is 2016/03/115. Now for me, that works well, and this is how I've always done it. I just like to keep it by the chronological order and by date, because for me, that's just the easiest way to remember where all these files are. So for you, it could be totally different. I'm not here to say one way is better than the other, but this has always worked for me, so I'm going to continue it like this. Now, it does house these on my Macintosh hard drive under Pictures, under 2016, and then right here you can see it's going to put them in an 03-15 folder because that's today and that's when they were taken. Notice it also says 26 and it's checked. So that works out well for me and I'm happy with that. You can see underneath that it also has all these other places they could put the files. But this is where I want to put them, so that works out well for me. After that, all you really have to do is press import, and we get to wait. And we'll see them all start to pop up in here. And since they're JPEGs, they're really just going to go pretty quickly through here. It won't take very long. And voila, here we are. All of my photos are up. And just real quick, that's the entire process, but you can notice up here on the top left, they are building the smart previews. It will take a lot longer if you've got raw files or if you have a much larger gallery. But here it's pretty simple. And it's going to give you a little dialog box saying smart previews were built. All right, thanks so much. Okay, great. I'm going to click OK. And then now let's just make sure that we know where all of these are. If we go up to our catalog, you can click on the all photographs, but notice that there is this one called previous import. And it's got all 26 of the photos here. That's great, wonderful. But if we weren't in this catalog and we just had all photographs clicked, let's find them in our folders here. Now, I currently have these in my Macintosh hard drive. It's under 2016 down to 0315, and here are all the files. Now notice if we go over here on the right, it does have the keywords DJPhotoVideo and macro on there, and no matter which one I click on, it's got the same keywords here. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Please leave any comments or questions in the comment section below. Click up top to subscribe, or click any of these 3 boxes to watch other episodes. Thanks again for watching.